Alrighty. Welcome everyone to the National Catholic College Admission Association College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but we'll be around for the entire session to answer questions. My name is Chelsea, and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to the presenters at any time. This is one of many sessions happening both tonight and on the 24th, so be sure to check the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/NCCAA. And now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, and that's the College of St. Benedict, St. John's University.
Thank you, Chelsea. As Chelsea said, my name is Alex Schlepper, Director of International Admission at the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University in the great state of Minnesota. And here is my PowerPoint. I'm hoping you can see it. Two schools actually, and I'll talk about why I'm representing two institutions in just a moment. But first off, we are located in the state of Minnesota, which is up here in the northern part of the US. We're kind of right in the middle of the state of Minnesota, about 1.5 hours to the northwest of Minneapolis and St. Paul. So students would fly into the MSP airport and then about 1.5 hour shuttle ride or vehicle ride up to where we are, which is in the central part. We're near the city of St. Cloud. St. Ben's is in a small little town called St. Joseph. And then about 9 kilometers away is St. John's University. So that is our location. Here's an air view of St. Ben's. As I mentioned, we're in the small town of St. Joe. We're kind of on the edge of town. In this direction is the main town. Up in this direction, we have about 800 acres of woods and lakes and just a beautiful space in a real nice town, safe atmosphere and environment, friendly atmosphere in the town of St. Joe. And then about 8 or 9 minutes by a link shuttle bus system away is St. John's University, which really isn't in a town. Rather, it's surrounded by about 2,500 acres of beautiful woods and lakes and wetlands. So that is our setting. So St. Ben's and St. John's combined, we have about 3,100 students, all undergrad, although we do have 2 graduate programs, one in nursing and one in theology. But pretty much everything is focused on the undergraduate student population. As I said, about 3,100 students. The big difference between St. Ben's and St. John's is that the women live at St. Ben's and the men live at St. John's. Other than that, everything is coeducational and joint. And so we call this a fully integrated or fully cooperative relationship. All classes have men and women in them. Coeducational, a lot of the clubs and groups and activities are joint and coeducational. But at the end of the day, the women will live in the real nice dorms and apartments at St. Ben's and the men over at St. John's. And as I say, students attend classes on both campuses. It's about 6 miles away and just regular transportation between the 2 schools. So this allows us to have really to be able to offer more to students by having these 2 sets of beautiful facilities. So 2 libraries, 4 different dining facilities, 2 athletic centers, 3 fine arts centers, 2 science centers. It's an unusual relationship, but it works pretty well for us. Some things about St. Ben's and St. John's, just starting with the professors, excellent professors who love to teach in this kind of environment where they get to know the students have a chance to get to know them. On average, we have 19 students per class. I think the largest class a student would be in would be 32 students. And so you can just imagine that students and teachers have a good chance of getting to know each other very well. I already mentioned. Beautiful, safe, very welcoming campus communities. We're a private liberal arts school focused on the undergrads, many different majors and minors and pre-professional programs to offer. We're Catholic and Benedictine, so we're started by the Benedictine monks and sisters. The monks started St. John's back in 1857 for starting a school for men, and the sisters started St. Ben's as a school for women. For many years, we operated separately, but about 40 years ago, we started combining resources, and now we have this joint program. And now we just started a new historical moment where we have one president now for St. Ben's and St. John's. In the past, we operated with two different presidents. Now it's just going to be one, and he is fantastic. We just met him the other day. We have a 4-year residency program. All students live on campus in the dorms and apartments. And as I mentioned, we're surrounded by beautiful woods and lakes, and we do offer good scholarships for international students. Something to note. Excellent support for international students. As I mentioned, started by the Benedictine monks and sisters. And I'm just going to tear through some images of life at St. Ben's and St. John's. And then I'm going to get to my contact info here. So if you want to pull out your camera and take a picture, I'll also post my info in the chat. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'm going to pass it on to Newman University.
Thank you so much. And Newman University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Georgia Drews. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at Newman University here in Wichita. And I'm happy to get to tell you a little bit about us. We're kind of a little hidden Midwest gem. This is our campus, kind of an aerial shot, and I like it because you can see the quintessential Kansas weather just rolling in from the west up here. But just goes to show you we're in a little bit more of an urban area. We're in Wichita, Kansas, which is smack dab in the middle of the US. This is downtown Wichita right up here at the top of the screen. So we're only a couple of minutes away from downtown. Wichita is a fantastic place to live and go to school. There's lots of colleges in the area. We're the largest city in Kansas, but it kind of gets the urban, larger city feel without like the heavy traffic and it taking an hour to get from one side of town to another. We are an NCAA Division II school. And we're one of the top 10 places to live in the US. Our cost of living here is fantastic. So if you're ever looking to live off campus, or you just want to go out for a night of entertainment or to a restaurant, very affordable. I also wanted to share with you that we're the air capital of the world. Our mascot is the Jets. We have a ton of different aircraft companies in and around the Wichita area. And a fun fact that I always like to tell people is that if you're ever walking around downtown Wichita, you might run into Harrison Ford. He's an avid aircraft enthusiast, and he always brings his aircrafts to Wichita, usually about 2 to 3 times a year to have them serviced. So he'll stay in a local hotel, rent a car, frequent some of his favorite restaurants like the Doodah Diner, and people are always seeing him. So it always crops up on social media 2 or 3 times a year that people are starting to see Harrison Ford in downtown Wichita again. Newman University is a Catholic college. We were founded in 1933 by a group of Catholic sisters called the Adorers of the Blood of Christ. We were named after John Henry Newman. He was just canonized a saint back in October of 2019 by Pope Francis. He had some really cool ideas about what it meant to get a Catholic college education. And for the most part, he really wanted students to be very well-rounded. So regardless of what our students are coming in to study, they get to take classes in a couple of different areas within our Newman Studies program. So even if they're studying pre-med, they get a little bit of philosophy and theology, maybe even get to take a class in musical theater, sociology, or history. So this is our mission statement. It tells you a little bit about who we are, where we came from, and what we aim to do. And I love, love, love that the sisters who founded our university still live right next door in a convent. We still have a few of them that work and teach and volunteer at the university, but for the most part, they're our spiritual sponsors, our #1 fans. And it's really cool to think that we have sisters in the ASC order in 6 of the 7 continents, just living and working and volunteering, but we have sisters all over the world praying for us every day, and we're the only university they've ever founded. Some more shots of campus. This is St. John's Chapel, named for St. John the Baptist. It recently got a little bit of a facelift, so I'm liking the brighter paint. This is actually from a mass where we dedicated our new altar, so you can see the bishop there at front. And this is our campus ministry team. Father Adam Grellinger is actually a graduate of Newman University. Weirdly enough, he came here for 4 years, lived on campus right across the hall from me, and got a degree in IT, and then decided to go to seminary. We also at Newman University educate all of the seminarians for the Diocese of Wichita. When they decide they'd like to enter seminary, they come to Newman to finish their first 4-year degree before being assigned to a seminary college elsewhere by the bishop. So they live just off campus in the St. Joseph House of Formation. This is last year's incoming, I think this is actually the incoming 2020 class, but we have our chaplain who oversees them as a part-time vocations director, and we love having these guys on campus and in our classes. Newman University is a little bit of a smaller school on a scale of small to large. I'd say we're more on the extra small size. We have about 1,200 students that attend our Wichita campus. Which means our student to faculty ratio is pretty good and our class sizes tend to stay pretty small. What you're seeing here in the background is a Spanish class that has less than 15 people. The largest classroom we can even have on campus seats 90, but we rarely even ever fill that. These are all the things that you could potentially study at Newman. We're a liberal arts institution, so we don't have any one particular focus, although we do tend to have a lot of students in our biology pre-med program. We have a lot of concentrations within business, chemistry, some options in education, theater, and we also have some unique offerings in healthcare like sonography, respiratory care, and occupational therapy assisting. If you're looking into the sciences, these are a lot of the popular pre-professional programs that students go into. We have a great relationship with KU School of Medicine that has a location here in Wichita. Pre-law is the one on this list that isn't necessarily science related, but you can major in just about anything and go to law school. As I mentioned, we are an NCAA Division II school. We compete in the MIAA conference. I came here for the awesome bowling team, but you can get scholarships for anything on the men's or women's list. And this is how we award scholarships. So we're test optional. You need either a 2.25 GPA or a 21 on the ACT to be admitted to Newman as a first-time student with a scholarship offer between $10,000 to $16,000 per year. If you happen to be graduating from a Catholic high school, we guarantee you at least $14,000 on this scale, if not more, even if your GPA puts you under that. And if you're Catholic but not going to a Catholic high school, we have a Catholic Leaders of Tomorrow grant that you can be nominated for by your parish priest. And all of these amounts are per year for 4 years, as long as you maintain at least a 2.0 GPA. If you submit a GPA and an ACT, we'll award you whatever's highest on this list. A little bit more information about our Catholic Promise and Catholic Leaders. And if you're interested in Newman, I'd highly recommend a visit to campus. We are still doing virtual visits if you're a little bit more far flung, or you can come to campus, and encourage you to apply. Still taking apps and awarding scholarships for this fall if you're a senior. If you'd like our custom view book, you can scan this here. I'll put my info in the chat.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have St. Mary's College of California.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I just realized I'm sharing the wrong screen. So sorry about that. Hello, I am from St. Mary's College of California. My name's Kirsten Colte. What's interesting is not only am I an admissions counselor here, I am also a double alum of St. Mary's College. So that may come into play as well while we kind of go through this together. We are located in what I would call the heart of the Bay Area. So we are right by Oakland, California, with traffic. Moraga, California is about 15 minutes away from Oakland with traffic. And if you know Bay Area traffic, that's pretty darn good. We are also a very small Catholic liberal arts LaSallian private institution. If you are currently attending a LaSallian high school, very similarly, interestingly enough to my colleague at Newman, we have a somewhat similar scholarship opportunity for folks that are attending LaSallian high schools. So keep that in mind too as we go through this. We are very small as well. We are about 2,300 strong with a average class size of about 19 students per full-time faculty member. We do not have teachers' assistants here at St. Mary's College. Not that there's anything wrong with teachers' assistants. We just happen to not have any. So any work you take is taught by a full-time faculty member. Very quickly on this slide, I did want to point out that a little above 31% of our current student body is the first person in their family to ever attend college. I am in this statistic as well. And just know, if you fall in this statistic, there are opportunities for not only academic support, but also financial, scholarship, and emotional support in this program as well. Our university has a specific program designed for this, but please note, if you are a first-gen student, many universities will also have programs as well. Very quickly, because we are a liberal arts school, we very heavily invest in our students' voices. And what I mean by that is, we as a university want you as a student to show up authentically in the classroom. I want to see what you're passionate about, especially where social justice is concerned. And that's where this first course comes in. So this first course is Collegiate Seminar, or Seminar for short. You take it once per academic year, regardless of your major at our university. The whole point of this course is to have you probe at things that are kind of detrimental to the human condition, to talk about vice, racism, sexism, discrimination, and the effects that that has on greater society. You'll be dissecting works all the way from Aristotle, Plato, Euclid, all the way to much more modern thinkers like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. We also offer a very similar sort of course, regardless of your major, that you take once every 4 years, but this is called January term, or Jan term for short. The whole point of this course is to not only give you an academic break from 2 full semesters, so you'll have your fall and your spring semester, this happens right in between those. And January term kind of amalgamizes your natural passions with academia. For example, when I was a student here, I took a Harry Potter course and a video game writing course, and I loved both. This is a brief kind of snapshot of the kinds of majors we offer here at St. Mary's. However, if you're looking at this list and you go, oh no, the one major I want isn't here, you can always propose your own major. I've had several friends do this, and it is totally achievable. You, regardless of your major, are given a faculty advisor and an academic advisor. And if you change majors, which you can totally do very easily here because none of our majors are impacted, you'll always have guidance from some faculty or staff member. At our university, the most populated majors are business administration, psychology, communications, and pre-med through the biology program. Very quickly, this is a brief snapshot of the cost of attendance from 2021 to 2022, where we averaged about the direct cost being $67,000-ish. However, what that does not account for, that sticker price, does not account for if you have earned any grants, loans, scholarships, merit-based scholarships, which are different, or any kind of aid. After receiving all of that, the average cost left to pay was about $31,000, which makes it a lot more doable. And yet again, that's not necessarily considering scholarships either. At the time of admission, you are considered for scholarships. I will leave these details down in the chat below, just based upon time. However, one thing I did want to note is we are on the Common application and the Coalition application. The Coalition application is always free. The Common app, I can give you a fee waiver code for in the chat. One thing I would like to point out is that it's never too early to start planning college. And if you'd like to visit any of our campuses here tonight, I'm sure other reps will include that information in the chat as well. Thank you all so much for having me, and we'll see you for the Q&A wrap up.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, Loyola University, Maryland is next.
All right, hello everyone. I'm glad to be here this evening. Let me just get myself set up here. My name is Andrew Lucibella. I am one of the admission counselors in the Office of Undergraduate Admission at Loyola University, Maryland, located in Baltimore, Maryland. So to just jump in here, we are a Jesuit school. So we are one of 27 Jesuit colleges and universities located across the United States. Jesuits, a order of Catholic priests highly focused on education and on service. That really guides a lot of what we're doing on campus. One of those core Jesuit values that we hold very near and dear to our hearts is called cura personalis, which in Latin means care of the whole person. So that's mind, body, and spirit. And how that kind of manifests itself is that students are highly involved outside the classroom in our 18 Division I men's and women's sports teams, in community service opportunities, in over our 200 clubs and organizations on campus. We want students to get that really well-rounded education in line with the Jesuit tradition. We are one of 4 schools named for St. Ignatius Loyola across the country. So if you are familiar with Loyola Chicago, Loyola New Orleans, or Loyola Marymount University out in Los Angeles, we are all completely separate universities. I just like to make that clear. Every once in a while, I'll have a student ask me about our Final Four run a couple of years ago, and I have to break the news to them that that was Loyola Chicago and not Loyola Maryland. So just like to make that clear. A little bit about our community. We are a highly residential campus. About 3/4 of our students come from outside the state of Maryland, really well represented by the East Coast, so Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia. We sit at just about 4,000 undergraduate students, so that kind of small to medium size where it's definitely small enough where you always see a familiar face walking to class, someone to ask how their last exam went, someone to ask where they went to dinner last weekend, but not so small where you know everyone. You're definitely still meeting new people all the way up until senior year. We're represented by over 40 states and over 45 different countries, so you'll meet folks from really all over the world over the course of your time at Loyola. Because so many students are coming from outside of our area, like I said, we are a highly residential campus. About 81% of our students will live on campus all 4 years that they attend Loyola. We are ranked in the top 20 in the country by the Princeton Review for our residence halls. So as someone who lived in them for 4 years myself, I can confirm they're very spacious, homey, feel like home away from home on campus. Lost my mouse here. All right, we are located in Baltimore, Maryland. We're kind of in the northern part of Baltimore in a more residential area, but this is the downtown area. We're about 15 minutes or so away from this. Baltimore is one of the most underrated college towns in the country, actually. There's about 14 universities in Baltimore, 160,000 college students spread across the city. So there's a lot for students to do, a lot of student discounts to take advantage of, and a lot of professional opportunities as well. We have a lot of great relationships with organizations in the city where students have interned and worked after graduation, including Under Armour, Stanley Black & Decker, McCormick, the Orioles, the Ravens, all of which are based in Baltimore. Baltimore was recently named one of the best cities in the country for recent college grads. So we find that a lot of our alumni, like myself, are staying in Baltimore after graduation. I grew up in Connecticut, but have stayed in Baltimore since I graduated. Baltimore has over 200 unique neighborhoods to explore, so whether it's the historic neighborhoods of Fells Point or over in Federal Hill where the Orioles and the Ravens are playing, an artsy neighborhood of Hamden, just about a mile away from campus. We really are encouraging students to get to know the city over the course of their time at Loyola. One of the ways we're going to help you get to do that is through our first year living learning experience called Messina. This is a really comprehensive first year program that every single student will participate over the course of their first year at Loyola. It is an academic program, so you'll take one class in the fall, one class in the spring with the same group of 15 students. So you'll get to know those students really, really well over the course of the year. And your professor for one of those classes will also serve as your academic advisor until you declare your major. So your advisor is going to be someone who sees you in class at least twice a week, knows your strengths, knows your weaknesses, knows your career goals, and is really able to help you navigate that academic transition. You'll also be placed with an upper class student leader who we call an evergreen. We're the evergreen campus. As you can see, there are a lot of trees. We are actually a licensed arboretum as well. That's a side note. But you'll be placed with an evergreen that's going to help you with those nuts and bolts Loyola things. Things like, how do I declare my major? How do I apply to study abroad? How do I register for housing next year? Because we want to make sure that you're familiar with the different resources on campus. And this was something that I was really excited about when I was coming to Loyola. I knew I was going to be about 6 hours away from home. And so I knew I was going to have to problem solve for myself on campus. So I wanted to go to a place where I knew I would know who to see when I was having trouble or know who to see when I had questions. And that's exactly what this Messina program is going to do. All right, I mentioned your Messina class is only going to be about 15 students. That's not all that much smaller than the typical Loyola class, which runs about 20 or so. We also do not have any teaching assistants or graduate students teaching classes, so you will have a full professor for every single class that you take at Loyola. And while they are likely will be an expert in their field working on their next research project or their next book or a practicing clinician in our psychology clinic, the reason they work at Loyola is because they want to get to know their students. So you'll be able to ask questions when you have them, be able to participate when you want to. Your professors will be available for extra help when you need it. And I think it really helps students get a little bit more out of their classes because you're putting a little bit more into them, right? We offer 35 different majors, 45 different minors. Don't feel like you need to know coming in what you want to study. We don't require students to declare their major until the middle of their sophomore year. So plenty of time to figure it out once you arrive to campus. And then just quickly, I'll touch on student life. Like I mentioned, we are a Division I school in the Patriot League, over 200 student-run clubs and organizations. And one thing I love most about Loyola students is really how supportive they are of each other. All of our theater events are just as well attended as any lacrosse game is. So thanks so much for listening. I'll put my information in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Carlow University.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and get going here. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Susan Winstall. I am the Senior Associate Director of Enrollment at Carlow University. On behalf of Carlow, I would like to say Cade Mila Fulce, which is Gaelic for 100,000 welcomes. Carlow is a small private Catholic university. We offer both professional and liberal arts programs. We were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, who are very committed to service and social justice and very welcoming of everyone, regardless of your background, regardless of where you come from. And I have been at Carlow for over 29 years now, my home away from home, and I can absolutely attest to that. By the numbers, we are about 2,000 students, so we're considered a small university. Of that, we have 1,300 undergraduate students. We boast an 11-to-1 student-faculty ratio. Average class size is 15 to 20, so nice and small, lots of attention. You can't hide in our class. We are nestled on a very cozy hillside, very secluded campus, about 14 acres. We are in the Oakland neighborhood of Pittsburgh. We have over 50 undergraduate programs for students to select, and we have 14 varsity sports, both for men and women. And probably one of the things we're most proud of is 98% of our alumni are employed or are seeking graduate work within 6 months after graduation. So we have several what we call signature programs. These tend to be our larger, more popular programs and ones that we're known for in the region. In the nursing and healthcare, you can see those listed in front of you. Nursing is our largest. It is a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. Small class sizes taught by faculty who are nurses. We utilize some of the finest teaching hospitals really in the country. Our students actually have clinical at close to 10 different hospitals. We have an amazing skills lab, our nursing skills lab. You can see a little bit of it here in this picture. And one of the things we're most proud of, we have the highest pass rate on the NCLEX exam for 5 years in a row in the region. And the NCLEX exam is the licensing exam that students need to take and pass to be a licensed nurse. In addition, we have a large biology and chemistry program, but we've got some pretty unique majors here. We've got cardiovascular perfusion and healthcare management, interoperative neuromonitoring, respiratory therapy. I invite students to check out our website to learn more about our pretty unique majors. Our signature programs within the helping profession, we have art therapy preparation, which is a wonderful blend of art and counseling and psychology courses to prepare students to go on to get their master's and eventually become an art therapist. We have both early childhood education and early development and learning. What's great about these programs, we have a children's center, daycare, and a campus school, K-8, right on site for students to get classroom experience. And our psychology and social work majors both come with areas of concentration to prepare students to go on to get a graduate degree. Our signature programs in creative art expression, lots of different things to pick from in art: painting, drawing, ceramics, graphic design, computer animation, art history, art education. Lots of different programs in communication. We have creative writing, we have English. And you know, what's nice about Carlow, we're nice and small. You can double major and come out with 2 degrees, making you very marketable when you hit the workforce. And if you're not really sure what you want to major in, that's okay. We have a deciding pathway that students can start in. They work with faculty, they work with our wonderful career development office to really help discover what your passion is. Beyond the classroom, civic engagement and service learning, very important, embedded into all of our programs. We offer undergraduate research. We have internship and professional work experiences we offer our students. We have study abroad. We actually have a branch in Carlow, Ireland, if you ever think you might want to make the trip. We offer student leadership, strong campus ministry, resident life opportunities, and a plethora of student clubs and organizations. And don't forget our 14 varsity sports. So we're actually, we're not in Pittsburgh, we're right outside of Pittsburgh. It sits right behind us. You can see how close we are though. Pittsburgh has been voted one of America's most livable cities, home to numerous Fortune 500 headquarters and more than 50 renowned healthcare systems. So if you're looking for amazing internships or wonderful clinical opportunities, this is the place. It's also a world-class culture and arts community. We're actually in Oakland, which is Pittsburgh's innovative corridor, known as the EDS, Meds, and Technical District. Oakland actually has one of the highest concentrations of college-age students in the area, and we allow our students to cross-register and attend classes at all of the surrounding institutions. And exceptional internships. Honestly, by the time our students graduate, they will have participated in at least 3 internships. So admissions and aid, all students are assigned a personal enrollment counselor like myself. It is free to apply. We accept both the Common App, or you can log in right on our Bridge to Carlow, right on our website to apply. We are rolling admission, which means we don't have a deadline. Once you get us your application and your transcripts, we can review you for both admission and for scholarships. We are test optional. We have merit scholarships up to $20,000 per year, which can be combined with an athletic scholarship if you're an athlete, honors program if you're invited into honors. We do have a Catholic High School Award. We have a Legacy Award. We have a College and High School Award, and we encourage all students and families to complete the FAFSA application. Our code is here. That will enable you to see what additional financial aid you're eligible for. Want to connect? Office of Admissions, our local number, our toll-free number, our email. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are still accepting applications for seniors out there, and we are doing in-person visits during the week, and we're offering open houses now on the weekends. Love to connect. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up is Gonzaga University.
Hi everyone, my name is Carlos Ramirez and I'm one of the mission counselors here at Gonzaga University. I cover the territories of Central Washington and the Bay Area, but I'm also from Venezuela. I'm a Gonzaga grad, so I have experienced these experiences as a student as well. So Gonzaga is a private liberal arts Catholic university in the Jesuit tradition, and Jesuit education is world renowned for providing holistic development of the mind, body, and spirit, and that's what we focus on here at Gonzaga, in addition to educating students for life of leadership and service for the common good. We are located in Spokane, Washington. This is the second largest city of Washington state, and we have around 225,000 people living in the city itself. You can see a glimpse of Gonzaga in the middle of the picture in here in the slide. So this is campus. You can see the Spokane River, and up here, this is downtown, which is about a half mile or a 15 to 20-minute walk from downtown. Additionally, the Spokane International Airport is about a 15-minute drive from campus. We are the hub of the Inland Northwest. Spokane is the region's medical, tech, governmental, and financial center. And the city is located near the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, and we also have all for different seasons. So we get a variety of activities to enjoy throughout the year as well. Here at Gonzaga, we are a medium-sized university. We just over 48 undergraduate students who hail from almost all 50 states and about 40 countries. About half of our population, they are Catholic students, and the other half, they come from other Christian denominations, as well as other religions, and we also have students that come from non-religious backgrounds as well. We have students coming from about 38 different 38 faiths represented on campus, and you can see it through our students, staff, and faculty as well. In academics, there is an emphasis on interdisciplinary and hands-on experiences such as internship, research, and fieldwork. We have an average class size of 23 students and a student-to-faculty ratio of 11:1. With faculty teaching courses and labs, and we're able to offer personal attention and advising. We also are ranked in the top 5% national for the best undergraduate teaching, and we have happy students with 98%, 94%, 95% coming back for the second year, and that's because of the community that they have built on campus. We also have a 76% four-year graduation rate, and we have successful graduates within the class of 2021 saying that 96% of them, they are working in graduate school or doing full-time service work. So here at Gonzaga, we offer over 75 academic programs in 5 colleges. We have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is our largest college on campus. And we have programs going from applied mathematics to writing. And this is where the majority of our core curriculum classes are going to be happening. We also offer great preparation for students who are interested in pre-law, pre-med, health sciences, and we also have our own School of Law. Additionally, we offer a fully accredited School of Business Administration, which is a top 100 program in the country with a top 30 program in accounting. We have an excellent School of Education with teaching certifications that are good for all 50 states. We also have our School of Engineering and Applied Sciences that is a top 25 program with a master's that is the highest degree offered. And finally, we have the School of Nursing and Human Physiology that they boosted 100% nursing NCLEX pass rate in the last 2 examinations as well. And we have 82% of our students coming from over 200 miles away, coming again from around all 50 states, coming from around 40 countries. And while we know that we offer great academic challenges, we also offer a lot of support and opportunities for students to grow and share their gift outside of the classroom. We have over 140 clubs and organizations, strong residence hall communities. We have speakers, dances, cultural festivals, service and advocacy. We are very active intramural clubs and Division I athletics campus. And we have many optional retreats and spiritual opportunities as well. We also have our Unity Multicultural Education Center and our Lincoln LGBTQ Center, and they help ensure that whoever you are and however you identify, you feel welcome, heard, supported, and celebrated at Gonzaga. We also have our Disability Access Office, and they help the students that have learning differences with free tutoring, and we also have tutoring in about 20 different subject areas. And one of our biggest clubs on campus is the Gonzaga Outdoors Club, and they help run the ski and bike shop and rent equipment for students throughout all the different seasons. And for international admissions, we use the common application for admissions to determine merit scholarships, and applications are due December 1st. International students can also apply through Gonzaga Global, and Global offers a streamlined application process and an extended deadline of July 1st. So if there are any students out there that are still, they're in senior year of high school and they're still looking for a college to be next year, this will be a good place for you to consider. Gonzaga is also test optional for admission. So if you have test scores and have questions about whether or not to submit them, please reach out to us. And if you don't have a scores, that's perfectly fine, nothing to worry about. We're just gonna put more emphasis on your curriculum, grades, and writing when we're looking at your application. And finally, this is my colleague, Teresa Hollet. She's the International Admission Counselor, and here's her contact information if you have any questions as well. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody back onto screen. We can hear from you all one more time. I think we have time for one question. So My question is, what advice do you have for students who are going to be going through the admissions or even the search process now or maybe sometime in the near future? And I'll jump back to the College of St. Benedict and St. John's University.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a lot of different thoughts come to my mind, but one of them, I guess, is to utilize the people that you're seeing on the screen. If you can identify a point person in the admission office that you can just have as a go-to person for, after you apply for admission, or even before you apply, if you want to just get more information, try to find that point person. But it's especially helpful once you're in the application process and you start having sort of multiple questions, to be able to just have a go-to person, through WhatsApp or through email or something like that. I think that might be helpful to help reduce your stress in the process.
Thank you. Newman University?
I would recommend, and I feel like I say the same thing every time I go to a college fair, but try out some different schools. You might be thinking you'd like to go to a Catholic school, or you might be thinking you'd like to go to a smaller school or a bigger school, but one of two things is going to happen when you diversify the different schools that you're visiting and applying to. Either you're going to validate that your first option, or the thing that you defaulted towards, is really the right thing for you, or you're going to find some really new, interesting options. And the more you visit and the more you try out, I think the more you're going to find what is ultimately your best fit. And really, that's what all of us are here to help you find, is the best fit. But give yourself the best chance at that by going and visiting a lot of different types and sizes and locations and institutions that might be a good fit for you.
Awesome. Thank you. St. Mary's College of California?
To piggyback off of what both of my former colleagues have said that have presented before me, also diversify your portfolio by getting to know the faculty of the particular major or majors you're looking at, or your financial aid counselor. That was astronomical in my ability to kind of parse what universities would work for me and my family and our budget versus what may not. And just keep a level head, and just know that folks like us, we really love what we do. So we want to help you all as students as well.
Thank you. Loyola University, Maryland?
Yeah, thanks. I think I give this piece of advice to a lot of students, and it pertains to when you're thinking about the essays that you're writing for college. I always tell students to write about what you're passionate about. Don't write about what you think we want to read, because it is very noticeable when we're reading these essays if you're passionate about what you're talking about. And it makes for an interesting essay. It makes for a better essay. So that's really the only place in the application that your voice is really shining through in full force. So we want to hear it. And so that's my biggest piece of advice.
Awesome. Thank you. Carlow University?
I would add to the wonderful comments already. Don't stress over having everything decided. Don't worry about picking a major career up front. Colleges will help you do that. And don't let the price of a private school scare you. Oftentimes, the scholarship and financial aid opportunities are exceptional in many of our private institutions.
Thank you. And Gonzaga University, what is your advice?
Yes, I will say just ask all the questions that you have. There are no crazy questions, there are no bad questions. Every questions are valid. And we just want to help you during your process. And we want you to be able to say after graduation, hey, I made the right decision of coming to whatever place you go.
Awesome. Thank you. That was all really great advice. Alrighty, so I am going to wrap things up here. We are at the time. So thank you so much to our presenters for putting all the information together and for spending this evening with us. Thank you to our participants as well for being here. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. There's another one this evening, as well as some on Sunday, the 24th. So keep that in mind. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other recordings if you missed some or want to go back at strivescan.com/NCCAA. And that's it for us. Thank you so much. Have a good night.